I'm Alicia. I'm one of your bakers here at Davison Hall. This is Patrick. He's one of our chefs. And we are here today to show you how to make apple maple glazed chicken with a side of steamed rice and vegetables. And then for dessert, we will show you how to make a chocolate mousse cup. So your first step is you're going to preheat your oven to 375 degrees, and you're going to get a non-stick skillet warming on your stove top. Once you have those ready, we're going to measure out our ingredients for the glaze. The ingredients for that are we have 1.5 cups of apple cider, 1/8 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard, 1 tablespoon of white vinegar, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, and 1/3 cup of corn syrup. So once we've measured out our ingredients for the glaze, we're going to whisk them all together. Now the recipe calls for 1/8 teaspoon of the red pepper flakes. If you don't like spicy, feel free to omit them. If you like things spicier, feel free to add more. And we're just going to combine that until everything is mixed together and set it aside until later. So next we're going to put salt and pepper on each side of the chicken, and you always want to season liberally. And we're going to put salt and pepper in our flour, and then once that is done, we are going to put the chicken in the flour, and we're going to dredge our chicken. Once your chicken has been dredged in the flour, you're going to get 2 teaspoons of oil in your skillet, and we're going to sear the chicken. And we want to make sure that our skillet is nice and hot.
Now we're going to lay our chicken into the pan. Big tip is to make sure that you place your chicken down away from you. When you're searing your chicken, you want to make sure you put down the skin side of the chicken down first.
So on the first side, we're going to sear the chicken for about 3 to 4 minutes, just until we reach that golden brown color, and then we're going to flip to the other side, and we're going to sear it for an additional 2 to 3 minutes, just enough to get a little bit of brown on it. So once we have our chicken seared, we're going to remove any extra oil from the pan. We just want a little bit of oil, and we're going to place our 3 tablespoons of shallots into the pan, and we're going to saute just until soft, maybe 1 to 2 minutes. So once our shallots are nice and soft, we're going to add in our liquid glaze ingredients, and we're going to bring that to a simmer and reduce it until we have 1 cup left, about 3 to 4 minutes. And make sure that you stir occasionally to keep it from burning. There is a lot of sugar in it. All right, so next we're gonna put our chicken back into the glaze, and we're gonna roll it around a few times, make sure it's properly coated. And then from here, you wanna make sure that if you don't have a heat-proof skillet, you switch your chicken and your sauce into a Pyrex dish, a casserole dish, whatever you have that can go into the oven. So it's going to be in the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes depending on the thickness of your chicken breast. The most important thing is to make sure that you have a thermometer, but you always want to make sure that you cook chicken to at least 165 degrees. So once your chicken is at 165 degrees, you're going to take it out of the oven, place your chicken on a sheet pan and cover it to let it sit while we finish reducing our sauce. And we're just going to reduce it for 2 minutes max. So once our sauce is properly reduced, we're going to add our remaining apple cider just to thin it out for service. And we are now ready to plate our chicken. So for plating, here we usually serve it with white rice and a mixed vegetable. Obviously at home you can serve it with whatever you like. Mashed potatoes are yummy with it, whatever. We're gonna place our chicken on our plate, and then we're gonna put a spoonful of sauce just right over the top of the chicken. And the remainder sauce you can pass around the table for dipping. And here you have it. This is our famous Davison apple glazed chicken. So now that we've done the chicken, next we're gonna show you how to make the chocolate mousse cups. For the chocolate mousse, what you're gonna need is we're gonna need a quart of heavy cream, 1 cup of cocoa powder, and a cup of powdered sugar. For the whipped cream layer, we're gonna need another quart of heavy cream, another cup of powdered sugar, and a teaspoon of vanilla. So first thing we're gonna do for our chocolate mousse is we're gonna get our heavy cream into our bowl. We're gonna take our powdered sugar and we're gonna sift it. And the only reason we're doing this is to just make sure we don't have any lumps. We'll add, at this point, our cocoa powder in. Once everything is sifted, we're gonna go over to the mixer and we're gonna get this whipping. So we're gonna start on low just so that we don't have our powdered sugar and our cocoa powder going everywhere. Now, if you don't have a mixer at home, you can do this by hand. So we're just gonna scrape down our sides just to try and get all our powders incorporated. And we're gonna turn up the speed and continue mixing. So you'll know it's done when you see how the cream is holding its peaks, it's holding its shape. All right, so now that our mousse is ready, we're gonna start our whipped cream layer. And we're gonna start with another container, a quart of heavy cream. And we're gonna pour that into our mixing bowl. And we're gonna add in our teaspoon of vanilla. And we're gonna sift in our cup of powdered sugar. And we're gonna start on low just to incorporate our powdered sugar a little bit. And we'll turn it up to medium. So next we're gonna get our garnish ready, and we've got a couple of mini candy canes, and I also have a Ziploc bag. All right, and we're ready to start layering. And then last but not least, we'll take our candy canes and do a little dusting on top. And there you have it.